Hi everybody, how are you? I've got a little tune for you to listen to while we wait for people to jump on in. I'm going to turn it up. Come on in, everybody, and listen to this. This is going to blow your mind because I have discovered something diabolical, and it happened a couple of years ago, 2019, March. And this is when this song was created and produced by the Chinese CCP government. We're going to hang in here for a few minutes to get more people. I'm getting so shadow banned lately, it's ridiculous, but I'm going to try. I'm going to turn you around to a little video. Now, I don't know if everybody's familiar with China. They have an annual general meeting every year. Their parliament, all of them get together, okay? The deal is it's called 2 sessions. Now in 2019, and I'm going to get the exact date of this. Of course, it was in the Daily Mail. Now, I'm going to tell you how I came across this first, okay? Because this is, I follow these two vloggers, Lawa86, Serpenza, and then they have a collective podcast called ADV Podcasts. The other night, of course, they're making fun of the Chinese government, as they usually do, and their silly antics. And now, rap used to be illegal, like a problem in China. But all of a sudden, around 2017, the government started to ease up. And there was a kind of a reality TV show on TV, and it kind of popularized it. But before that, like, there's no room in this Chinese state for the putting it out there like rap does, right? In any case, the boys on ADV Podcasts had this rap, and I heard it. And they were dissing it. They were kind of more relating that the Chinese government was exerting their strength and might. And at their general meeting that they have, and where this song was launched with a video in English. Okay, so now you got to understand, people there in China, they don't speak English by rule, by a general rule. They speak Chinese. So this was launched to the West, okay? It's diabolical, my friends, because this is, well, I'm going to let you guys watch it, and we're going to play it, and then I'm going to tell you what I saw in it. Now, the cool thing about this little video here is the fact that, well, it is in English. So, and it has subtitles. Now, what I want to do here, I just want to go to the story first. Now, the Daily Mail. Hello from Australia. Hi there, Lillian, Harrow. Okay, so this article is called, I'm just going to flip you guys around so you can read it with me, because you're going to see what they were saying. Okay. So y'all know it's time for a Chinese miracle. Beijing uses an English rap song to praise the achievements of the Communist Party amid intensifying propaganda push. Okay, so I checked out this singer, Su Han. Well, he's pretty unknown. He's done one other song. These guys, again, rap is in its infancy in China, okay? So the song was released to mark the 2 sessions event that began this week. China's state agency, Xinhua, published a song on Sunday that will with singer Su Han. But the incoherent rhymes have raised eyebrows among China watchers. Beijing's propaganda apparatus is pumping up the volume for its annual parliament meeting with videos starring a rapper dropping rhymes about his elation for the session and the American waxing lyrical about the Chinese system of democracy. Rich in rhymes, which often appear incoherent, the song boasts about the country's social and scientific achievements, from anti-pollution measures to poverty alleviation programs, and a historic moon landing. The China state media regularly rolls out clips targeted at foreign audiences during important political events, and this year's production has again raised eyebrows among China watchers. Well, they're totally overshadowing this because this is massive. And I believe it was what launched what we are enduring now. More than a threat, a reality as to why our governments are buckling under the pressure. Why they played ball like it was a plan. And why nation after nation has dropped to their knees in letting China get away with this. All right, guys, you get ready. This is a 4.5-minute video, and we're going to play it till the end. And I want you to read those lyrics, and then we're going to talk about it. Where is it first? Let's go over to my video here. Let's get it right. Oh. How did I get that lost? Oh my gosh. I think I'm losing it here. No. Oh, there we are. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, here we go. Enjoy. Let's turn it up first. All right. Read the lyrics.
I got elation from inspiration, writing a confident song for the nation. While I'm talking about concessions, after ranking that section into 4 sections, to awake to acute vision. Remember this vision, just settle down and focus on what an eloquent definition about a true essential for countries we found. Times the air bears the weight of desire. Every single needs to acquire knowledge as human can live without a tire. That's why we adore and explore before we getting wiser. So now let me show you all around these years how we get higher. You see, the sailing on the dark side of the moon. On hardness comes off like carbon dioxide in the ooze.
Changing so fast, guys. Sorry. We'll go through the lyrics.
Travesty gases, kind of ho-hum allergy fallacy, making it extremely acid, generating native energy, jeopardy, action, please get it away from our territory, nobody should get in with a disgusting place, so we got 26 up from the permanent cast of the poverty, rich the disparity, I believe, it'll be devastated and dying, finally comes the passing prodigy, we're from
I know, we'll go through the lyrics one by one after. Sorry. All right. Oh. Technical difficulties. Yeah, I didn't want to cooperate there, but at the bottom line is about this video is that you really have to read those lyrics. And of course, it wasn't going to cooperate with me at all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to play it lower and I'm going to go through the lyrics with you. Because, see, I see a threat. I do. What are the subtitles? Yes, I actually went through the whole thing myself and I have qualified all of these subtitles and they are at the bottom of this video that was put up as well to make sure people can read it. Now, again, Daily Mail, they discounted it. My boys that I love, La Y and Serpenza, they're awesome. But you see, well, their narrative is that the Chinese government is always trying to intimidate people. See, but I think this is beyond intimidation. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, around the same time this was going down, that's when the Huawei thing in Canada hit. Okay, so there was a lot of pressure, a back and forth about extradition to the United States for the founder's daughter. Now, well, you know what? Let's just get to it. I'm going to put this on again, lower, so you can hear it, and we're going to talk. Now, again, rap doesn't happen in China. It wasn't a thing, okay? So, and again, it was illegal before that. Full lyrics below. Now, this is from SUP China, which is an independent network, okay? So, first one, I got elation from inspiration writing a compliment song for the nation while I'm talking about 2 sessions. Quotations. Now, even through the subtitles, they were very clear on quotations. And again, my boys and the Daily Mail want to discount this as silly and the Chinese trying to prove themselves and flopping on their asses. But that's not the truth, okay? For the nation, compliment song for the nation while I'm talking about the 2 sessions. After reckoning, I section it into 4 sections to awake your acute vision and reduce tension. Just settle down and focus on what I eloquently mentioned about the true essence of our country's development. Now, of course, through this, they've got all the videos, the visuals going along. Science's the air bears the weight of desire. Every civil needs to acquire knowledge, as humans can't live without a tire. That's why we adore and explore before we get wiser. Now let me show y'all, overall these years, how we got higher. You see, we've attained landing on the dark side of the moon. All the hardness absorbed like carbon dioxide in the woods. Joy of success is like a weekend car ride around the pool. Process and delightful achievements tied up to the mood. Sunway tellurites, like bright moonlight, and it might unite all the dreams tonight. Once to be the fastest supercomputer in the world, I guess nobody might deny. Mischius is a quantum satellite breakthrough, first ever, even in my mind. Launched in the August, travel in the space like an imposing eagle still standing by. Geelong, submersible vehicle, Mariana Trenches got nothing difficult. Near 5,000 meters, diving shows deep in the magnificent water world. Cloned macaques, zong zong, wow wow. New life is demonstrating it's cute and congruous. Monkey King to the west, legendary dragon to the sky. Y'all know it's time for a Chinese miracle. We've got, this is the chorus. We've got 2 sessions. We've got 2 sessions. For the fragrance we're blessing, to the world we show our affection. We've got 2 sessions. Let me show you Chinese manners. Tramp the bygone session. We're the fortitude presence. Okay? Again, we're going to go through this. Actually, let's just start. So I'm going to tell you what I think of this first part. I'm rhyming too. I think I've been listening to this too much. Okay, so I got elation from inspiration, writing a compliment song. So Su Juan is saying that he's, of course, writing this song. He's talking about the 2 sessions, which is the parliamentary meeting. After reckoning the whole thing, he's sectioning it out in 4 sections. And it's all to do with the essence of his country's development. Sciences, the air, bears the weight of desire. Every civil needs to acquire knowledge, as humans can't live without a tire. That's why we adore and explore before we get wiser. Now, let me show y'all overall these years how we got higher. So, sciences is the air around. It bears the weight, the gravity of desire. Talking about civil, but in the video relating to children, that they must acquire knowledge. That is their primary function, because they can't live without a tire. So they explore before they get wiser. Basically meaning they don't make moves until they were ready to do it, is what I'm reading into this. Let me show you how we got higher. You see, we've attained landing on the dark side of the moon. All the hardness absorbed by like carbon dioxide in the woods. The dark side of the moon is a different landscape. And in fact, it's kind of like volcanic. So therefore, carbon dioxide. Okay, so people, just so you understand what this means. All the hardness absorbed like carbon dioxide in the woods. Joy of success is like a weekend car ride around the pool. And of course, my vloggers were laughing their asses off about this. What are they thinking? Car ride around the pool. Uber. Okay, so I'm going to point out some things. Uber carpool, car ride around the pool. Joy of success is having ground forces. Process and delightful achievements tied up to the mood. Well, I'm going to tell you a story this week, not in today's video, about how I have been in Ecuador and I have watched, well, maybe we'll talk about it today. I experienced something 2 years ago, and I was absolutely certain that they were altering the mood, and they were doing it. I didn't know how, but I knew they were. Or I had a deep, deep, deep feeling. I was staying in a resort area, and well, it's regular condos just outside the city of Manta. Now, I've been there for 10 Christmases, okay? And in Ecuador, they go batshit wild at Christmas. It is nuts. People are everywhere. You cannot get into a store. If you do, they are ripping and clawing at you. It is unreal. So what happens during that time is normally I get sent to the store so I can endure it. I'm younger. So this particular year, 2 years ago, so that was 2019. Well, I go downtown to get the flowers like I have been for 10 years. And, well, it's just a dull roar. And I'm looking around going, what the hell is going on here? Where is everybody? I go to the mall. And again, to get into this there's we call it the rich mall. The supermarket is like absolutely insane. You can buy everything there. It is packed. You can't move. It was half. What is going on? Then there was a gift wrapping area. And one thing in Ecuador, everybody does, they gift wrap. They get everything gift wrapped. Not like us that throw it in bags and stuff. They do it that way. In any case, it's dead. And it was more. So it was leading up to the holidays, 3 days, but then New Year's. And now, I don't know if anybody's been to Latin America for New Year's, but in Manta, Ecuador, I used to equate it. I used to say it's like Beirut being bombed because they burn effigies everywhere. That's everybody either paper maches them or they buy them and you burn them. And I've been in a penthouse overlooking the entire city for New Year's a couple of times. And it literally looks like Beirut. Well, New Year's comes and it is dull. It's dull. And I even said to a few people that were close to me, it's like there's something mood altering happening here. Dulling. And again, I have no proof of this, but it was something I knew. And when I saw that line, joy of success is like a weekend car ride around the pool. Process and delightful achievements tied up to the mood. Sunway tellurite, like bright moonlight. Sunway tellurite is the supercomputer, okay? And they have apparently even come to something bigger and more grand. And it might unite all the dreams tonight. Now, we all know that part of this whole process here is to the hive mind, the uniting. And again, I think there's more to this. And again, it's hard to articulate because honestly, I've been sitting on this since Friday. I was going to talk about it then, but I wanted to talk more because as we get down here, you're going to be blown away. Once the fastest supercomputer in the world, I guess nobody might deny. Mikius is a quantum satellite breakthrough, first ever in my mind. Launched in August, travel in space like an imposing eagle still standing by. Now, I think they have 2 more. Now, they were working on Mikius 2 and 3. And I have to get into that more. Not there yet. But what I'm seeing here is that there's ground forces here. They have the supercomputer that can run the world. And they have satellites, like an imposing eagle in the sky. Eagles aren't friendly, imposing, right? Geelong submersible vehicle, Mariana Trenches, got nothing difficult. Near 5,000 meters, diving shows deep in the magnificent water world. Now, the Mariana Trenches are the, way at the very bottom, the lowest you can go, and they have submersible vehicles. So again, ground forces, imposing eagles in Mauritius. And then, of course, the supercomputer. And then access and, again, forces below. What I think they're saying is they're covered. And they've covered us. Cloned macaques. Zhang wow. Now, these were cloned monkeys. They were apparently cloned for experiments. but what they're doing is talking about new life is demonstrating it's cute and congruous. New life. Keywords, right? They can create life, and they're ahead. Monkey King to the west, legendary dragon to the sky. Y'all know it's time for a Chinese miracle. We've got two sessions. We've got two sessions for the fragrance we're blessing to show the world our affection. We've got two sessions. Let me show you Chinese manners. Tramp the bygone session were the fortitude presence. Now I want you to just take a look quickly about how they're spelling this, okay? So if you can say we've got two sessions, we've got two sessions. Let's look here. Tramp the bygone session. Okay, so it's mint and it's spelled consistently through these videos. We've got two sessions. Let me show you Chinese manners. For the fragrance we're blessing. Again, this was March of 2019. And I believe that the fragrance they were blessing was the virus. And from what I read there's two sessions. This is an economic and territorial takeover, I believe. And I'm going to tell you why. Because see, tramp the bygone session were the fortitude presence. Where is my little, oh my gosh, sorry guys, but I had it all up there. Well, let's just do it here. Session, definition. Acceding or surrendering as a territory or other country by treaty. Something such as territory that is ceded. The act of yielding or giving away. Concession. I believe we're in a conceding of territory. And session, we're looking at New Brunswick with what? 2 people in the hospital, and they have shut down borders. We've been looking at the Northwest Territories, the Yukon. The Northwest Territories didn't have a case until the fall. Yet they were shut down. No traffic in and out. Travel passes to get around. Something's not right here. Now again, we've got Nova Scotia and New Brunswick with, again, provincial borders. I believe that we have, I said this a year ago, that it was like a coup. But what's happening here is that they're playing it out like a virus. But this is a actual, I don't know if it's a full out takeover, but it's a you do what we say, because we're going to show you some Chinese manners. Now the thing is, the World Health Organization has been unable to get into China. They're working, but they're not getting the information. Now, we also know that the World Health Organization is an arm of China. They were charged with the management of this international matter. January 30th, 2020. It's like this has gone down in process. And again, in Saskatchewan at the time, we had 2 cases and they flipped the numbers to 16, which didn't exist, to flip us into states of emergency. It went from basically every day of the week of that March 17th, 18th, 19th week, it was a process of public states of emergency. Our governments are gaslighting us. They are actually doing what they do in China. You don't combat. Now, for example, there was a little, they call it a freedom protest here, but well, in any case, I passed that the other day, and I think there was about 8 or 9 people there. There was nobody there. And I could hear screaming from the other street, so I go up there. There was, in total, 9 cop cars. 3 that I'd passed getting close to them before I cut down a block that were with sirens going, lights flashing, making a production of this event that was going down there. And then when I went around the block and came back because I was, well, curious, there were 5 cop cars there. It was insane. Again, this presence. Now, I had police at my door at 5:30 in the morning after I posted a video of an empty hospital. 5:30 in the morning. That's a Chinese intimidation tactic, right? This is what they do. Now, we've also been privy to Melbourne. Now, for some reason, that territory has locked into this. And again, the word is that it is Chinese. I think this is a threat. Now, let's keep going because this is pretty interesting. And then I'll get to all these questions. And education's the water, feeds little sons and daughters. You won't make it if there's no rule, no standards, and no orders. Young minds and thoughts ought to fly high like Skywalker. Fixing the collar, applaud her seeking the cognition corner. Man cannot live without nutrition. And this is where it gets a little bit scary, guys. That's how I figure poverty alleviation. Fight for the poverty reduction, effective like solving a linear equation. Poverty, such a tragedy, a clumsy travesty. Guess it's not, it's kind of ho-hum allergy, fallacy, making extremely acidy. Generating negative energy, jeopardy. Ask you please, get it away from our territory. Nobody should get in with that disgusting pit. So we got 26 out of them per minute. Cast off that poverty and reach the prosperity. I believe I'll be devastated and dying leave when finally comes the fancy prodigy, wonderful melody. Just shake off the gravity and ride with me. Man cannot live without nutrition. Well, weather warfare. And this is what I believe they're actually alluding to. Fight for the poverty reduction, effective like solving linear equation. So we got 26 out of that per minute. Now, the background that you're seeing when that's on is farmers, crops, toothless guy, poverty. And they're kind of saying it's a linear equation. So we just kill them. 26 per minute. They're talking back in 2019, right? And we are all quite privy to like my friends that I've known for a long time, we have been talking about geoengineering, solar geoengineering, chemtrails, what's going on, what are they spraying? And I believe they know exactly what they're spraying. It's all about the crops, nutrition. You control the weather, you control the people, you control the food. Poverty, such a tragedy, a clumsy travesty. Guess it's kind of a ho-hum allergy, fallacy, making extremely acidy. This is where I get the solar geoengineering. It's acidy. It's like an allergy. what if most people that I've met, the reason we've met and we've talked about geoengineering to start is because of the impact on our lungs and our bodies. That's how we came to understand it. That's how we went seeking knowledge about it. It's because of what was happening to us physically, our health. Until I found my regime, I was suffering. And that's, again, how I started looking into this as heavily as I have over the years. And that started in 2012. What it does in the control of the weather, it actually makes your food acidy. This, again, it's acid, negativity, generating negative energy, jeopardy. Now, one thing about China and even social media, like, they don't allow for that. You get censored or you get hauled down to the station, and then they put you in a chair, like with your arms like this, and they make you recant. So they see any type of, again, what we see in democracy as a slight, as negativity. I believe I'll be devastated and dying leave when finally comes the fancy prodigy, wonderful melody. Just shake off the gravity and ride with me. What they're saying is shake off the dead weight, the old, the infirmed, the people that can't take care of themselves. Poverty alleviation is a linear equation. I think that's what they're saying. And that would speak to what we've been discussing over these months about depopulation and what we see in VAERS. All right, let's go here. Now, again, we've got 2 sessions for the fragrance we're blessing. Now, the following year, when we all went into states of emergencies, China had their 2 sessions meeting. We keep the environment alive. Don't sacrifice seaside's sunshine. What I believe they're saying in there, again, is weather manipulation. Don't sacrifice seaside sunshine. It's like summertime paradise. Likewise, butterflies in twilight. See the larch rolling miles upon miles, where we meet, satisfied, Popeye. Like mama's calm, pure smile. We are our gorgeous scenery, tide. See, 56 years ago, when there merely sits just few greeny pieces of woods, no one imagined the forest beneath Sainhaba's moonlight. Bonfire is set, no way to get it back. Greening projects never foregone by. Never gonna be the earth invader, forcing it into hunt in Cretaceous dinosaur times. Never gonna be the earth invader. Okay, gotta be the ready one player when in front of dirty polluter. Eject all the rapaciousness like shaking off nephroliliasis, which is like kidney stones. Longing the hanging gardens, so we turn the entire space into an oasis. Did you get that? 56 years ago, they had the footage of the forest, which, had a few green sticks, and it was pretty much destroyed, burnt to the ground. And all of a sudden, who could have imagined that beautiful forest that would emerge after? Bonfire is set, no way to get it back. Okay, so what they're saying is basically they've signed on to Agenda 2030. They are they're using that agreement in the actuality to hem us into this entire scheme. And again, make it look like it was the way we were going to go, that the world was going to go. But I don't know that it was China that was going to be leading the show. No one imagined the forest beneath Sainhaba's moonlight. Bonfire set, no way to get it back. Greenings projects never forgone by. Useless is basically what they're saying here. never going to be the Earth invader, forcing us into dinosaur times. We have to be the ready one player when in front of dirty polluter. Because, see, the West has been getting for the dirty polluter award of the year. It's the West, except it's China. Eject all the rapaciousness, like shaking off kidney stones, longing the hanging gardens. The hanging gardens, the Babylonian gardens. So we turn the entire space into an oasis. See, to me, that would be a credible threat. That basically we're just going to blow it all up. And that's kind of what I see with this. I do. Again, we've got 2 sessions. Tramp the bygone. Session were the fortitude presence. And of course, session is a conceding. And normally that word is territory. They own most of Canada's oil sands too. And yeah, I believe this is also the Uber play. That was the Saudi involvement. They're in there too. Of course, Tara, yeah, you got to know it's Suncor up there. Canadian Natural Resources. Now they're the leaders in all of this and these new regulations. And apparently, I actually, somebody sent me on Facebook this afternoon a letter from Suncor talking about their new programs they're putting in. We'll get to that this week. They're setting up jab stations in Suncor. Oh yeah, okay, Carl. Yes, I got that from someone. If anyone has a clearer copy than the one I got, it was a little blurry, and I want to get that out. Suncor would be a leader. That's William Buffett. CNCR. See, yeah, it's Canadian Natural Resources. Alan Markin. He's a leader in all this too. He hides out though. He's a Flames owner. Pure North. No, okay. Now, guys, the reason again this struck me is because, well, we have been through 3 chiefs of defense staff since last July. Okay, so this all came down, our public health emergencies in the last 2 weeks of March, all through Canada. July 23rd, General Vance. Here's an article from CBC. Let's turn you around for a second. No, it doesn't want to work with me. You know what? I'm just going to read it. Retired General Jonathan Vance thought he was untouchable. Major Kelly Brennan tells MPs. So this is a guy who had been with the forces forever. And all of a sudden around July 23rd, now that was just following the BLM rollout. And again, all of this new energy being pumped into our police forces, into the military. The woman at the center of the sexual misconduct case against the country's former top military commander delivered a bombshell testimony to a House of Commons committee late Thursday, making fresh allegations about the personal life and conduct of retired General Jonathan Vance. Okay. So now this is a critical time in Canada. To see a general, again, he's been with the forces forever, exemplary. His record is flawless. And all of a sudden, he's got sexual misconduct. Well, he's gone July 23rd, 2020. They don't replace him until December 23rd. And that was Vice Admiral McDonald, Chief of Defense Staff. He lasted till February 25th. Then they got Major General Danny Fortin, who, now all of these guys, just so you know, they've all got sexual allegations. So that's Jonathan Vance. We've got Admiral McDonald steps aside as defense chief as military police launch investigation. A victim and a number of witnesses have come forward according to sources. Again, CBC. Or that's the Ottawa Citizen, sorry. The gist of him, as I have stated, I take all allegations of misconduct seriously and continue to take strong action on any allegation of misconduct that is brought forward, Sejin said in a statement, who is, of course, the Harjit Sajjan. And he made a statement that day. So all of a sudden, we've got sexual allegations here. Okay, again. Now we've got Major General Danny Fortin. And, oh boy, what did I do with that? Major General Danny Fortin facing historical sexual misconduct allegation. Now that's May 16th. That's today. Do you think that all of them have been engaged in this type of contact? These men who have served our country all this time, all of a sudden, why is it the one after another are going down? You know why? You see, Major General Danny Fortin, he was in charge of the vaccine rollout. You see, I don't think the vaccine rollout is actually a vaccine rollout with the military. I think it's a territorial securing deal. And I think that the military isn't going along with it, is what's going on here. This happens in all sorts of Latin American countries I visit and have kept up with over the years. And this is the case. Again, the military is not saturated with this type of conduct, again, from their top members that have been chosen specifically for these roles and then have been discredited and pummeled if they won't go along with it. Australia too, Perth locked down 2 million people for 5 days because of one single positive. This is it. It's political control, but it ain't our government's political control. I don't believe it anymore. I believe these people have all buckled. And again, I don't know that every MP understands what's going on. I don't imagine they do. But the key people know. Just like Justin and Sophie. Sophie got the ball rolling coming back from the We Charity event. Now that was in March. She was at a We Charity event with Margaret Trudeau and her daughter in London, UK. 12,000 kids at a concert and a whole presentation from We Charity. And it was a bunch of those actors and people like Sophie that actually got COVID there. And the media used these people. Now, the thing is, they actually tried to hide that she was at a We Charity event. I found that out. I dug and dug. And she was on a plane with Margaret and her daughter. And she got back to Canada. And again, it was about a week and a half. She was home. And then she felt ill. That's when she went and took the test. She came home and went into quarantine. And Trudeau didn't test. His son didn't test. The daughter didn't test. Margaret didn't test. No one tested. Why? Because that would be fraud. I'm sure of it. And then Trudeau went in the house. And that's when I say, and I will continue, that Tam took control. She is the conduit to the World Health Organization, but I actually believe she's the conduit directo to China. All of these rules that don't make sense, making us hurt our health. This is showing us some Chinese manners, and I believe it. It does. You guys, now the thing is, I tried to arrange protests here. I had the groups. The guy I call out here a lot, guess what he does on the side? He's part of a landlord group. That's what they do in areas to find out what's going on. I read about it for years. The BLM protest, that was a rollout. There was no movement here. We didn't have one. they had a CCP setup story in the morning. And that's the first time I went, holy, like diabolical, like I'm seeing it right here. And I followed up that story and I found out it was bogus. And it was to kick off a BLM last minute protest. The BLM, the mask, again, China. BLM, a lot of people aren't getting that. It's China, communism. I got doxxed, okay? That's a Chinese tactic. You should see all the, they subscribed me to Celine Dion. I hate Celine Dion. I've been through 3 emails now because I got doxxed. That's a China thing. It truly is. Oh no, guys, that this is looking more like this. Again, our border shutting down. Again, the cases do not support. We are against walls. We're being gaslit. This is what communism is. And they're doing it and they're imposing it. And I believe they're showing some Chinese manners because I think they're showing us exactly what those lyrics say. And they, again, blessing a fragrance for the world in which we show affection. They don't really show the West affection, I can tell you that, because I follow China quite a bit. And that's not what the propaganda and the media says about the West, just so you know. It is communist, fascist. Now the thing is too, again, the vaccine rollout, General Fortin, how do they go through 3? In less than a year? The military's not on board, my friends. They're not. So I think we have that on our side, I think. Again, I'm no military analyst or anything. I'm just a little detective. They need to make a big show for the media to scare the rest of the people to stand up and also to control the narrative. The media is their big baby right now, and they really need to create fear. Absolutely they do. And the fact is, again, us Canadians aren't buying it. So now what they're doing, Alberta has come down. No mask exemptions unless you have a note. Well, as we know in Saskatchewan, you won't be able to get the damn note. Here they were rescinding them from autistic children. Does that sound like our Canadian government? I've been saying for a year that they're not in control here. Mo's not in control. Kenny's not in control. They're not. They're nothing but mouthpieces right now. Shabab's in control. That's why we were protesting in front of his office. You didn't like that at all. See, the problem is right now we've been talking to the wrong people because they have no control. I believe they're, again, see now, for those people who didn't believe that they're not going to make you get this vaccine, that they're not going to, like, just like they make you wear the mask, this puts another swing on it. And it says that, again, this is why we haven't seen our rights and freedoms. This is why everyone's invested in keeping us hopeful. They want to keep the hope going. Because if not, it's going to cause pandemonium. It could cause violence. This won't be a smooth transition, which is why they don't want to let us know that there's a transition at all. But I believe it's absolutely on. I do. Now, the thing is, too, with Huawei, like, let them piggyback right after all of that, too. Why isn't the world standing up for the Uyghur Muslims? Why is our government standing down on that? Why are they supporting Chinese sales on everything, creating a PPE industry of disposables? Again, all of these countries apparently coming together for Agenda 2030. It's nonsense because their plan, they're just using the environment to secure us in good intent. And it's not. The thing is about China, they produce more than all 5, largest emitters. Canada's not even on the damn list. We're at the bottom. We're after China, India, US. happening to us. Now, the thing is, they can't go down like that in the United States. They can't. They have guns, lots of them. We have them too, but we don't have the people. They got them there. And this is why they're criminalizing us. Talking about freedom. They're talking about criminalizing, again, any missteps that you might make in public about the gene therapy. Again, these are going to be criminal. They are cornering anyone who believes in rights and freedoms, our Constitution, all of that, into domestic terrorism. This is the plan. This morning on Telegram, I shared a recording of a woman in the UK, a teacher, and what they were training her for. And new stuff has come across the board that's about identifying those kids that have parents that aren't seeing things the state's way. See, in China, you got to remember too, they had the Cultural Revolution with Mao there, where they killed a lot of people. The kids turned on their parents. And that is exactly what's going down now. Again, I was on Instagram with those little rats. I had 2 followers, 2. And they came in like bats out of hell. And I'm talking 1,500 comments on one photo of hate. They're unleashing these kids. And again, through these organizations of social justice. The fact is I've been a social justice warrior my whole life. They're redefining everything we know. Holy crap is right. Yeah. First goal of the 17 SDGs, UN, ending poverty, possibly UBI. The thing is, end poverty to them is a linear equation. Eugenics, genocide. See, what they've proven, guys, in China with this whole Uyghur thing, what they've proven is that the whole world doesn't care. That business goes on as usual. And you might have a few little glitches, but at the end of the day, nobody's stopping buying cotton. They're not losing anything. They've gained a huge PPE business, is what they've gained. $1 trillion. They say it's going to be like 3 trillion this year. It's massive. All from what I believe is the fragrance they were blessing. To show us manners. To understand that we are standing down to them. First thing communist systems do is take down freedom of religion in order to set their one and only religion. Statism, just like China and North Korea. They're going after the food control heavy right now. Now, guys, this is interesting. Told the story out to only a few people, so you guys are going to get a real heads up here. But before this whole Agenda 2030 stuff hit, now I planned to dive into it January 2020. That was the plan. For 10 years, I researched every day. I did my thing, but I really didn't get out there. And around September, I decided, well, first I went hard on Maxime Bernier. And I was trying to learn what was going on. And watching this anti-globalist, supposed, act like a globalist. And he never mentioned Agenda 2030. And I was on his feed every day. I was researching, I was learning, and I was kind of getting back into this end of things. Now, for years before that, I had been into solar radiation management, learning about it because of my own health. My lungs, stuff was going down, and I could definitely feel the impact of the aerosols. So I started researching, and around September 2019, I got a little contract to do some promotions across the province for a health food company. Now, the thing is about me, I won't fill out an application or anything like that. If they don't know who I am, what I do by now, then, screw them. In any case, they didn't get me through the front door with the company. They put me through a subsidiary distributor. And this distributor didn't, just said, okay, hired, go for it. The sales girl organized the whole thing. So, of course, I get out on the road. And, of course, I had that beautiful I mean, we have huge skies here in Saskatchewan, as everybody knows. And I did 6,000 kilometers in just over a month, east, west, north, south. I was on the road a lot, and our province is pretty big, and again, wide open skies. And I had to head up north out of Saskatoon, and I was doing a tour. And what I realized that I was following was what I believed to be weather warfare. And I photographed it all. And of course, it was in my stories. And again, I kind of been out of it for a number of years. And all of a sudden, my social media kind of, boom, went off again. And there was me. Of course, I was putting me in the shots with this crazy weather. And again, it was the aerosols and touching the aerosols and pointing to them, sort of, being in the middle. And, again, they were really fun and creative. And for me, for years, I had been getting all these photos. Everybody sees them all the time online. But people weren't, my set, they were not responding to that. So I had to be more creative. And all of a sudden it went boom. In any case, I was all over. So, if it took me 3 hours to drive there, it might take me 5 for all the stops I would do. But again, I was on my own time at that time. But all of a sudden I wasn't getting my paycheck. And it went on for like five weeks. They owed me like about $7,000. It was quite a bit of money. And you see, the company was, well, Natural Factors is the company. And they had a subsidiary distributor. And then, of course, they have many lines of products that they do. In any case, the people I've been following about solar radiation management for years in Alberta, and what I have believed is testing and has been actually doing human testing for 10 years because they packed up right at the beginning of the pandemic. Pure North Synergy out of Alberta. They were giving free supplements, and my parents were on the program. So I had been watching this since it began. And of course, right at the pandemic, as soon as it began, the foundation disappeared. They shut down. Isn't that an odd time to shut down? The thing is, Alan Markin, he is a co-owner of the Flames. He's Pure North. He's also Canadian Natural Resources. He's also a buddy with Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, because in 2008, they were on a plane together, going up to the tar sands and checking out the action. They didn't like what I was doing with the solar radiation management, but what also I was alluding to was that, you see, as I was doing these promotions in store, I was dealing with a lot of farmers and farmers' wives. And I got down, like, in the spring, we had a questionable relationship with China. There was a big problem with contracts, canola. And what happened was, well, when they should have been telling the growers that they shouldn't be growing it that year, they went ahead and they told them all to grow it. And I got that from the farmers' lips as I was doing my promotions. I was in this little town, Melfort, Saskatchewan. You drive in and you could just smell the canola like 10 miles out. It was crazy. It's putrid, really, if you get a lot of it. And in any case, there I was. And what I learned was that they were told to go ahead, grow that canola, and all of a sudden, when I was doing that drive, we had an early snow, and that was in September. And that would have been before, of course, the harvest. Like, part of the harvest, depending on the crop, can start in August, but it had been a little bit wet, so they were letting it dry down, and then the snow came in. And then when it all dried down again, another snow came in. And I watched it get manufactured in the sky. I did. Took pictures of the whole thing. I was on the road, and I was alluding to that. And then I had a problem getting paid. In any case, I went off to Ecuador, and that's when I discovered that whole mood thing in my month there. And then I came back to dive into Agenda 2030. And of course, before I left Ecuador, the first virus hit. Of course, it was hitting, and I was following it right from the beginning, not realizing that this was actually tailing us into Agenda 2030, which it truly is. In Ecuador, for example, see, I was calling it a bioweapon then, because in Shuar territory in Ecuador, that was the very first case. It wasn't in Quito or Guayaquil, these giant centers with millions upon millions of people, that got the first cases of COVID. It was Shuar territory, which is, right by where the Chinese want to extract oil with the Ecuadorian government. The Shuar have lived in that area. Again, this is their native area, and they go back like apparently thousands of years from what I learned when I was in Ecuador. Their history, they even go underground. In any case, that's where it happened. In Brazil, it was Mato Grosso, not Rio de Janeiro that just had Carnival, dance, millions of people getting naked. No, it was Mato Grosso, which is, again, close to the Amazon basin, a huge soy growing area. And there's these troublesome indigenous people there that they're actually quite nomadic, and they wanted to get them out. And of course, they don't want to give up their territory. First case, guess where it was? Right there. Not even Mato Grosso, because it was GPSed. It was actually north, about 40 kilometers in their territory. I watched this, what I'm going to do, Mexico. Now, this one's interesting. I thought the area where the first one hit was, again, what I was seeing was cartel action. That was what was in my head when I was originally looking at it. But I have recently found out that it is a mine that Bill Gates is very invested in. So I'm going to do a whole show on the, again, the weather warfare I've seen from the beginning, if I still have a channel, or if I still could get on here. But I thought that this was really interesting with China today, because, again, see, they're way further ahead than we understand. They've got imposing satellites in the sky. They've got the supercomputer. They unleashed a virus. The World Health Organization will not and cannot get information. See, that's what they're saying. And what's interesting to me on that is that, in fact, Morrison in Australia, he was lobbying for the World Health Organization to obtain greater powers, like being a wartime observer. And when I read that last night, which I'd never seen before, it tells me that they're increasing the World Health Organization's power because, again, they are the arm of China. Not for our safety and for the viruses and all of that, because of the power base. China, Tam, Shabab, Hinshaw, Bonnie, BC. Ready One, plugging us into a virtual world. IntelliLinks, also the fourth industrial technocratic enslavement. Exactly, they're absolutely invested. 2017, Xi stated, I will bring in the NWO. Where'd you get that, Bill? I need that. Please, please, please. Send it to me. Yes, send me what info you've got. You're a great researcher. You know what? I'm just sort of obsessed with all of this. Honestly, I heard the tune, and these, again, my vloggers, I love those guys, but they missed it. They were, and I kind of said it about them before. I love them to death, but boy, you can't underestimate China. And they did not go to this much work for an English-speaking rap. And again, I've looked up this artist. He didn't really exist. He apparently co-wrote another song once. But again, the Chinese government made it very clear to get this guy. Dr. Scamtam has size of the CCP. Of course she does, yes. BLM have tried to get protests in small communities all over Alberta, and they will. Funny enough, the freedom protest I went to the other day, yeah, she's standing there like this with the BLM sign, one woman. I called her a plant from the beginning. The unions have been sending her. And she always has the conspiratorial sign. Like, it's not about lockdowns. It's not about anything. She always has something. Like, it's either 5G or, again, something that the media can catch that discredits our concerns. Ugh, I lose it. I get so frustrated. BLM has been, here, they don't show up. They're online attackers. And that's what I was getting from them. Funny enough, No Mask Sask, my Instagram, the Instagram for that account, it was hijacked by South Korea. We were kicking ass and we were like growing fast. And it was right before I archived No Mask Sask on Facebook. I had to. They were going to take my account out. And it was wicked. They are ruthless. And I've read stuff about them that says that, you know what, the Chinese can shut down any Facebook account. And I'll tell you, with anti-maskers 2 months ago, before I archived that one, I got not only set up, but they came in for the kill. And it was going to take out the group. And that's why I went undercover and archived. Affection, deliberate sarcasm. Absolutely. Boy, our military in the U.S. is on board now. They will have to go without our military. They have UN guerrilla troops in place. We'll hire as they go while operating, just like they did back in Hitler days. I can tell you that they have ground forces here. They absolutely have ground forces. I believe that's where the Saudi involvement comes in. Uber. And it's more than that. I detected a network because I'm a walker, right? I walk everywhere, so I'm pretty observant. And I noticed something going down, started 2 years ago, and it was Aboriginal elders last year. I was up in North Central area, and I had elders tell me that the Ubers were sitting and watching them in their neighborhoods. They weren't busy, and I started watching them a few months ago. Got an app. And I watch what they do. And there's like 5 or 6 cars here, so you can easily see what's going on. And there's nothing going on. I even snaked him one day. Mal killed 60 million people. Yeah, Kim, for sure. You see, the thing is, our lives, again, solving poverty. It's a linear equation. Less people. Shaking off. And again, the talking about the new life forms that they can create. You see, and again, blowing it up, achieving the Babylonian gardens, the hanging gardens, that was pretty scary to me. Again, I see this as a threat, more than a threat. I see it as the order. I see that, you know what? I almost just about feel a little bit more calmness because I understand what's going on. I feel like I understand what's going on now. Because again, I know I always say they're all in on it and all of that, but I honestly can't believe that every politician understands what's going on here. That they would turn on us like this. Now, getting back to Sophie, too, I just wanted to throw this one in. The other day, I sent out how they do the jab, right? And I did a little video, and, you know, they cup it, and they use their hand, and I went through, I've got a whole educational video. But with Justin and Sophie, she went like this, a one-hander. No preparation, no nothing. She just basically cleaned the area and went for the jab with both of them. Now, I can't tell you how much footage I've gone through, and it's just not done like that ever. It's not done like that in school. Why would they do that, perform that move on the two of them like that? Unless they were maybe trying to alert people that this was a fraud. I don't know. But the fact is, once that quarantine was over, Trudeau was in the house. Guess where Sophie went? She went to Harrington. And I believe she's been there ever since. Now, in that video of him getting the vaccine first and then her. He goes to hold her hand and she slaps it away. Now, apparently that made quite a scene on social media. But I'm an empath. Like, I'm an energy person. Something changed after she went in for that quarantine. She left with those kids. And they show up at appearances, but she doesn't want anything to do with him. So there's something there. Now, also, our Governor General, too, we hadn't even gotten to that. She had some sort of misconduct deal as well, right? Wasn't that around November, December? So basically, we've got, 3 military, boom, boom, boom. Every time they rehire, they're down. So they're not following it. I'm going to go back to it and say that I believe this vaccine rollout with the military is a territorial rollout. Again, in our country, we would never push, again, we're Canadian, we've lived here our whole lives. They've never made us get a vaccine or made us wear a mask or made us, again, imposed rules that cannot be explained. Blatant lies. And it's happening all over the place. And I believe that it's really UK, Canada and Australia first. New Zealand was 100% in from what I could see. I mean, I follow some freedom fighters there, but it doesn't seem like they're making an impact. I don't know. Again, they're under the same playbook we are. But it's us Commonwealth nations. Now, interestingly enough, anybody who's on the Belt and Road Initiative plan. Now, interesting, it was the stands, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. They didn't have any cases until it was like they were forced to. And of course, they're bordering China. And there's a whole lot of business between China and Kazakhstan, for example. All of them. They're all Belt and Road, and Belt and Road is the Chinese project to reinvent the Silk Road of years gone by. And all those countries have been absolutely, again, not fighting back too much. They're not. Greece, no. Italy is another one. Now, funny enough, it went from China to Italy. 2 language issues right off the get-go, and Iran. And of course, Iran is a Belt and Road partner. They're all Belt and Road partners. It's crazy. Same with Iraqi war. No one knew, no one cared, didn't affect their weekend barbecue. Bernier is part of the game. He is. And I'm just going to tell you something. He shakes a hand like a girl. Handshakes mean something to me. They do. My dad taught me how to do one real good when I was really young. They tell you a lot about a person, I believe. And I didn't think much of him after that. You know what? What I didn't think much of, mostly, was the fact that, again, he never mentions Agenda 2030. How can the anti-globalist not utilize the slam dunk, which is Agenda 2030? You see, if everybody understood about this plan, this wouldn't be going down. He doesn't mention it. It's like it doesn't exist. And of course, all the politicians, it was like that before the last federal election. I hammered his feed every day, educating all of those people following him because he wasn't doing that. Geoengineering, weather manipulation. I have countless videos as well. They've been doing it for decades. And they were and have, but it was really, I'll tell you, 2008, 9, 10, I really noticed. And the big difference between then and after 2011 is my year in Ecuador, where I wasn't on a flight path. And I'll tell you, it was night and day. It was when I returned home after that year of, again, chemtrail, free skies, and real natural weather, that I started to get again, I came home and it was profound on my lungs right away. And that was huge. Again, I hadn't noticed it to that extent, but when I returned, I did. And then I started learning about it. I did spreadsheets for 2 weeks once. Every plane that came over in the daytime, I cataloged it, wrote it, the plane, the make, the altitude, the whole shebang, and then photographed them and then got them on flight radar just so I could understand and learn how it was done, right? David Keith, a geoengineering scientist, gave us a Freudian slip years ago. Even JFK's 1961 UN address mentioned they control the weather. Yes, see, David Keith is at University of Calgary. Did you know that? Yeah, see, a lot of this, people go international intrigue. No, Calgary's been a bit of a hotbed for all of this. We've got Alan Markin there, Pure North, Canadian Natural Resources. He started this health program in Canadian Natural. He did. Then he met up with Bill and Warren in 2008. And David Keith somehow, oh my God, he had a real failed project at U of C. It was a carbon capture something. I have to go back and dig. In any case, somehow he landed at Harvard right after that. Who do you think got him there, right? Interesting. So they've been talking about, and it's sulfur dioxide, SO2, that they spray, and it's in the fuel, I believe. I met a pilot once who told me it was in the fuel, but I'm not sure if he was telling me the truth. That's what I see though with high SO2. See, now that all diesel for the oceans has to be the low sulfur diesel, they retrofitted that over a year ago. That's what led to the first shortages. It wasn't toilet paper. It wasn't about that. It was the fact that there were no ships. China did it in 2008. Yes, Alan, they did. They geoengineered the Beijing Games. They did. They also displaced like 2 million people. Like, they're a piece of work. And I can tell you, like, they won't like me. We are facing the face of pure evil. I actually do believe we are facing pure evil because, again, I do believe this was a credible threat. And it's not a threat. I think it's done. They've done it. They have blessed a fragrance to the world to show their affection or lack of it, to show their dominance. So, in any case, here we are, right? Again, it doesn't give me comfort. It just makes me feel better that I seem to understand. Again, I couldn't get my head around everyone betraying us Canadians. BLM's been recruiting kids and paying them in order to create rallies in small communities. I found ads and investigated a rally in Lloydminster, and you could easily tell all the people there were green and did it for the money. That's the thing. See, I've seen that here. They worked from the inside, starting a hate campaign against me, one that I was a racist, apparently. Yeah. So it started within the freedom movement and worked with a girl outside. They were all union girls, all tradeswomen working. They were all board members of Trudeau's Build Together Saskatchewan for tradeswomen. And they actually, they executed that. I've got all that evidence. It took me quite some time to put it together, I can tell you. And their job was to come and devastate and destroy my reputation. They did it. Oh, I've got another rumor, another woman started, that I'm a cocaine addict. You know, I've sat on stuff like this for months and months. And yeah, I kind of had to do a little ceremony on the new moon and release some of that and ask for karma. I did. Because I put myself out there and, you know, I'll tell you, the sabotage I've seen, the people that'll smile to your face and pretend they're your friend, it's that you're on side. I've never seen anything like it. And I never realized that I was really, around a bunch of communists. They infiltrate the truth movements. Bill C-10 here in the UK, internet safety policy just recently that just passed. Anything to discredit any criticism or pushback. Absolutely. Yeah. You know what? I'm thankful for the experience. I truly am, because I never would have believed it if you would have told me. I'm one of those people. I have to experience it. I truly do. I'll take what you say under advisement, but no, it was diabolical, and I couldn't figure out where it came from, guys. I mean, that was the months, and that's when I got into the unions and Unifor, and they're in there. A woman I used to know here. Yeah, I just found that out the other day. I had my realtor. I was trying to sell my house in the fall, and my realtor was sending screenshots from me to people. So she was actually disclosing my personal information to people on the left. That wasn't very cool at all. So yeah, I've had a hard time trusting people. It's psychological warfare, pretty efficient. It sure is. 95 to 98% of people are oblivious to this resurgence of totalitarianism. After 3 or 4 generations of freedom from Nazi fascist threat, it seems our cultures have forgot the threat. Yes, I have to tell you, we're in a complacent stupor, and it's true. Again, the kids, the BLM or the university kids are preaching the very same message of democracy, or the new democracy that China is. And I'm actually going to take you through that. I have found a number of pieces over the last couple of years of, again, how they fault our democracy and their spin on the whole thing. And their spin is exactly what we're enduring. Again, I've read it in bits and pieces here and there. And interestingly enough, oh my God, it was, you know what, I'll find it for tomorrow, because it was a talk that they have, like a debate, the monk debates. Yes, monk debates. They had that on, okay, no, I'm not available. Do I need to put flight mode on here? A few years ago, when was it? 2020. Yes. And it was all about if Canadians would accept China. And it was a debate with 4 different presenters. And interestingly enough, the monk debates, like at the end, of course, they tally the votes. And normally they'll see like, 47%, thought we're against it. But now, after the debate, 67. Well, there wasn't a move and there wasn't a budge. And it was all about China, if Canada was ready for China, or again, was more acceptant of China. And I believe this was the whole setup to what's going on right now again, because they were shocked at the results, because again, they didn't budge. Canadians were not at all interested. It is an interesting, yeah, Josette, check it out. And honestly, read the lyrics. They're at the bottom on that video. I'm going to put them in the comments so you guys can all check it out. And again, for me, I'm an energy person. So when I listen to that and the energy of it, that's what hit me right away. It wasn't the lyrics. I had to go digging for the lyrics. And then I got... Yeah. Well, guys, all I know is that I think we have an occupation of sorts. Perhaps not physical at this particular time, but we have all sorts of military head honchos stepping down one after another with sexual allegations. And again, I don't buy that for a second. I truly don't. One time, maybe, but General Vance, no. These are guys that won't play ball, is what I am seeing out of this. I think we need to dig even further into this area and learn what's going on. Yeah. I got my hands on the Antifa manual that they distribute in schools and universities. Oh, I'd love to see that. Yes. Yeah, right at the beginning of No Masks, I had a lot of Antifa people who wanted to get to know me. I was like, no. I'm not a violent person or anything. See, what was weird with that group, again, it was the first time in my life I had been hit like that. Like I was an enemy of the state. The media tried to position me into relating me to Q. And they tried to do that early on. That was actually after the protest, after the BLM protest. And that's when the media all came. And that's when I ended up with a few little viral videos of me with devil ears because I had said that the mask was inhumane. I said it was demeaning. And they ran with that and made me into a horrible person. It was pretty prolific for me. I've seen how they, again, I've experienced it. It's diabolical. What I'm learning right now is you can't believe a whole lot. And you really need to, again, get in and dig. Again, just like the police at this, little protest here. Like, there were 10 people. I don't even think there were 10, you guys. There was yelling and screaming, but there was really nobody there. And they had, like, equal police cars to as many people as were there. Again, that's not Canada. It's not. The fact that I tried to file quite a few police reports and I wasn't going in. I prepared because I had a lot of evidence. I had a lot of photo evidence. So what I did was I arranged PDFs. I put together full-on reports. Like some of them were like 6 pages long. They rejected them. And that's not really our police. That's why I haven't trusted them from the start. I don't want to go near them. Especially after the time they were at my place at 5:30 a.m. I lost faith in them. Again, I do hear there are many police that are against this, but that's not what I'm seeing in my territory. A friend of mine had 5 cops come to her door and give her a ticket. Whoa, Tracy. From a protest. You see, it's overkill. And that is intimidation. That's not, again, Canada, we've never gone and intimidated people. The police have never done that to us. Why would they be doing it now? Again, our governments have no control. Mo has no control. No control. Shabab, he's the man in charge. He is. And he's stayed out of it for the most part. Again, people haven't caught on. They were catching on when we were protesting right outside his office, though. He didn't like that a bit. And of course, he sent in the opposition. We arrived to a protest one day. The last one I did. Me and Carrie showed up and CBC was already there with the counter protesters. It was all set up. And I don't think that those little counter protesters, it was all setups. Another guy with no pants, he showed up too. he wore shorts and it was like -10 or something. It was ridiculous. But this is what was going on. Groups made to, again, no mask Sask, no pants Sask, no seatbelt Sask. So again, this went on and on. The harassment was like anything. Again, I've never dealt with that in my life. But again, an exercise to show that we're up against an entity unlike we've ever confronted. Again, this is how it's done. And I'll tell you, the Q entity, I called China on that one a year ago. And again, it operates like BLM. They feed each other. And who would have benefited from Wait for the plan. Trust the plan. The Chinese, because I believe Q is the entity to take out the right and pummel them and then corner them into domestic terrorism. Ugh. Way overkill. Pure totalitarian goon tactics. Have you seen what they have in China? Like they have this little police force. Well, they're not police. What's the name? I'll show you guys one time. Anyway, they sort of have a uniform. Their shirts are untucked, and they kind of like they keep order in the streets, like street vendors and stuff like that. So they come up and how they keep orders, like they kick the shit out of everything, or you. They steal your stuff, steal your property, beat you up. That's how it's done there. And this is the kind of thing we're starting to see here. Again, it's not our landscape. And I don't care what's going down. I don't care if 100 people a day were dying in Canada. That would not be happening in our former landscape. I've been getting tickets every week doing media. Told them they can write me up the entire book. We laugh at them. You know, I'm not so big on the tickets right now because I know what they're doing. And again, in Alberta, they're not going to renew your license. Now, for me, I can't afford those tickets. I can't. I created Not a Mask so I could get in and out of the store. Quite honestly, I haven't dealt in this society for a long time. And I can tell you, I really don't want to. It's, you guys, this is, it's hard to believe that this is our Canada. It really is. But we're here, and it's now. And I wanted to bring this to your attention. So look in the comments and check this out. And honestly, what I'd like you to do is listen to it and close your eyes. And again, get the energy of it, because that's what hit me first with it. It's the energy. And why I believe that they indeed created a fragrance to teach us Chinese manners. Gotta go, guys. Have a wonderful night.